She has a seasonal ID for Universal. However, the only job that I know that she's had for the last few years, she's been a nanny.
So seasonal employee at Universal?
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time she worked at Universal, do you know?
I have no idea.
But further investigation reveals Caylee Anthony was fired from Universal April 2006. Jeff Hopkins left April 2002. And Juliette Lewis, she never even worked there, and neither did Zenaida Gonzalez.
How about Jeff? You said Jeff worked here until about 2 months ago?
No, he hasn't worked here for quite a while.
10 months? How long?
It's been at least 10 months.
Okay. He got fired in 2002. He hasn't been an employee here since 2002. And what about the girl?
Juliette?
Yeah, what about her?
She left 2 months ago. That's exactly what she had told me.
Juliette Lewis never worked at Universal Studios.
Next, more on the first 24 hours in the desperate search for Florida girl, 2-year-old Caylee Anthony. Before heading over to Universal, detectives finally locate the Zenaida Gonzalez connected to Sawgrass Apartments. She's never met Caylee Anthony or little Caylee and has never even worked as a babysitter. Armed with new information, cops call Caylee Anthony, who continues to insist she still works as an events coordinator at Universal, even giving them a work number in the name of a supervisor, Tom Manley. But when cops call the number, it's not valid, and there is no such person as Tom Manley at Universal. Cops discover there is a Tom Matson, however, who says Anthony's not an employee there and never was. Cops go back to Mom Caylee and ask her office location, but she can't give them a building number, and now she says she can't even find her work ID. July 16, 12:30 p.m. Detectives go to the Anthony home, and Top Mom agrees to go with investigators to Universal. At the entrance, they meet up with 3 employees. Anthony tells a security officer she works there, but she's lost her ID. When he asks for a supervisor's name, Caylee repeats Tom Manley. Then the security officer confirms what cops already know. There's no Tom Manley at Universal. For once, Caylee Anthony falls silent. But cops agree to take her back to her so-called office. Caylee Anthony leads the way down a hallway as if she knows exactly where she's going. But moments later, she stops in her tracks, turns around. She's busted. Tot Mom admits it's all a big lie, and she doesn't work there. Police take Caylee Anthony into a conference room to confront her about her lies. The whole thing caught on tape.
Our purpose in coming here was to do what? Go where?
I guess there wasn't a purpose. There wasn't a purpose whatsoever to come up here.
So we're wasting time, valuable time, that ought to be spent looking for your daughter.
I'm trying to think of places where I know she's been.
You're not answering the question. Do you want us to help?
Yes,
you want to help us find your daughter?
I do want you to
Well,
help.
then you need to help. Then a good starting point would be to answer the questions, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If I say to you, we're here because, and then you just ignore that, like as if I never asked it, and go off in some other direction, is that answering the question?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go through this again. We're here because. We got here how? To do what?
Because I lied, because I brought you up here, and honestly I was reaching for
No, stop right
avenue.
there. I want you to tell me how lying to us is going to help us find your daughter.
It's not going to.
Top Mom confesses lying about her job at Universal, one of the locations she claims Zenaida Gonzalez lives, and admits she should have called police the day Caylee went missing. But she still insists last seeing Caylee June 9, Sawgrass Apartments. During the entire interrogation, Anthony doesn't shed a single tear. She never shows emotion over her missing girl, even laughing at times.
Everything you told us is a lie. You're looking me in the eyes, you're looking at everything you told us is a lie. Every single thing. And you can't keep sitting here and telling us the same thing and getting constantly over and over and over again we're disproving everything that you're telling us. You're telling us that you've lied to us, you're telling us you're giving us misinformation, everything you're telling us. Okay? It needs to end.
The truthful thing is that I have not seen my daughter The last time that I saw her was on the 9th of June.
And what happened to Caylee?
I don't know.
Sure you do.
Listen,
know. Something happened to Caylee. We're not going to discuss whether the last time you saw her. I'm guessing something bad happened to her some time ago and you haven't seen her. So that part is true if you say you haven't seen her because she's somewhere else right now.
She's with someone else.
Leaving no stone unturned, cops pull up every single Zenaida Gonzalez in the system. Caylee Anthony can't identify a single one, and she doesn't recognize the Gonzalez from Sawgrass Apartments.
We know that there are Zenaida Gonzalez's out there. The Zenaida Gonzalez that has been talked to us by Casey is non-existent to this point. What we need to do is receive information from Casey and nothing but the truth. We need that information.
Again at headquarters, detectives give Anthony a last chance to come clean, to tell the truth. But the tot mom digs in and sticks to her story. July 16, 4:33 p.m. Police placed tot mom Caylee Anthony under arrest for child neglect and, of course, lying to investigators. Cops continue passing along any new information about the investigation to Mom Caylee behind bars. Each time, Caylee Anthony insists she does not know where Caylee is, still laughing at times. The same day, grandfather George turns over Anthony's laptop computer to police. Forensic investigators discover photos of Caylee with her great-grandfather, photos taken June 15, proving Caylee's alive after June 9. That's the date tot mom claims to have last seen Caylee. George also tells police he sees Caylee Anthony and granddaughter Caylee leaving the home the morning of June 16.
On the 16th is when I actually saw Caylee and Caylee together. They're both leaving with backpacks, and so my daughter said she was going to work and she was taking Caylee to the nanny, to the babysitter. But I know it was 10 minutes to 1 because I was watching this food channel thing that I watched between noon and 1 o'clock. So I'm positive that I know for a doggone fact.
So she actually told you on the 16th, I plan on staying at Zanny's. I have a late event.
Yes, most definitely.
Mom starts calling. Apparently, Mom says that she had some form of a big deal going on at work, a convention. So they were staying at the Hard Rock Hotel.
That's what she told us.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what my wife reiterated to me.
You didn't have those conversations, just the way your
Right.
wife told you. Okay. And then they had to move that to Busch Gardens, Tampa area.
Yes.
And that's where Zanny got in her car accident?
Supposedly Zanny got in his car accident. Caylee was following, I guess, some distance behind her, and Zanny got involved in this accident.
Hospitalized at Tampa General?
That's what we were told.
Treated for a concussion?
Yes.
But then the next day, the ER nurse discovered a large laceration behind the ear and had to treat that.
And it kept her, I guess, an extra day or something like that, when I remember correctly, yes.
Throughout all the lies, one thing is consistent. Caylee Anthony's version of events doesn't add up. The more she tells police, the more holes appear in her story. In her written statement, Anthony claims July 15, 12 p.m., she gets a call from her missing girl. The first time she's heard Caylee's voice in 4 weeks. This alleged call comes in on the same date grandmother Cindy reports Caylee missing.
You remember the phone call you were telling us about?
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
Yes.
Did you actually talk? What day was it you talked to her?
Yesterday,
You know what time of day?
around noon. It was from a private number.
Okay. And what did she tell you? What did your daughter say to you?
She said, "Hi, Mommy."
And that's it?
And she started telling me a story, talking to me about her shoes and books.
It's important that you tell me. I mean, maybe there's something in what she said that can help us figure out where she is. What did she say?
I tried to ask her where she was, and she just kept talking about the book that she's been reading. We have videos of her reading the story, and she's telling me the story.
So
But
she seemed
said
happy
1,000
and
times
she's
she
happy
seemed
and
fine.
Seemed fine,
She
seemed
seemed
happy.
perfectly fine. There was
Telling you-
nothing in
she's
the
telling-
background.
Telling you about a book, telling you seem no sign of any type of stress at all.
Not at all.
Great, that's wonderful. Let me ask you a question. Your daughter hasn't seen you in over a month, and she's not.
She was excited. She was excited, to talk to me. But at the same time, it's crazy that she didn't get upset when she talked to me, which
Yeah.
it had it been my mom,
Is that
I know it
another
would
thing?
have
Is
been
that another
totally
thing that
different.
makes sense to you?
She never gets upset when she talks to me, whether I haven't seen her for an entire day or if I had to work late at night and I didn't see her almost an entire day, and told them
Last time.
But cell phone records prove otherwise, revealing not a single call that could have come from little Caylee. Remember, Anthony says she drops Caylee off with Zenaida Gonzalez on the stairwell there at Sawgrass Apartments June 9? Police go so far as to check apartment surveillance video. No Caylee Anthony, no little Caylee, no Zenaida Gonzalez. When we come back, Tot Mom Caylee Anthony's web of lies.